If you've been wondering what is the DNR thinking having such a high limit on antlerless licenses and doing away with antlerless quotas by county in lower Michigan, don't they know this will destroy the deer herd? The good news is it would be nearly impossible for hunters in Michigan to wipe out the deer herd, even with the ability to harvest a greater number of does than in the past. How do we know this? Because considerable research conducted on deer population dynamics in Midwestern states, including Michigan, shows this to be the case. Population dynamics are extremely complex, but we're going to attempt to explain them with a very simplified example. Based on knowledge from previous research, hypothetically, let's say a Michigan county with deer habitat of mixed agriculture and woodlands has a population of 10,000 deer broken down by 5,000 does, 2,500 bucks, and 2,500 fawns. Believe it or not, that population could withstand a harvest of around 40% every year and still be stable. How is this possible? We're glad you asked. Quite simply, deer are very good at replenishing their numbers. Although hunters in Michigan tend to shoot slightly more antlered males than antlerless deer, to be conservative with our hypothetical population, let's assume that 40% harvest is distributed across the bucks, does, and fawns in the population. At the end of the hunting season, those 5,000 does are now 3,000 does. Those 2,500 bucks are now 1,500 bucks. And those 2,500 fawns are now 1,500 fawns, leaving us with a total population of 6,000 deer from the original 10,000. Of the remaining 3,000 does, about 2,900 lived to produce about 5,510 fawns that summer. Of those, around 85% or 4,685 fawns should survive to the next hunting season. Those 2,900 does are also joined by 750 doe fawns from last year, giving us a total of 3,650 adult does. Of those, around 95% or 3,470 should survive to the next hunting season. The 1,500 remaining bucks that survived the previous hunting season are joined by 750 fawn bucks that remain, giving us a total of 2,250 adult bucks. Of those, about 85% or 1,910 should survive to the next hunting season. When we do the math for the deer surviving to the next hunting season, we end up with 10,065 deer populating our hypothetical county, a net gain of 65 deer from the previous year. But what if the harvest is well over 40%, you ask? In reality, we don't see harvest rates that high, so we're unlikely to see it surpassed for a variety of reasons. In the year 2000, we had about 800,000 deer hunters in Michigan. Today, we have fewer than 600,000, a decline of over 32% in just 20 years, and a trend seen in states across the country. Over the next 10 years, Michigan is expected to lose another 100,000 deer hunters, with other states seeing similar declines. Currently, about 50% of our hunters are successful in harvesting a deer, but only 16% of those harvest 2 or more deer, and less than 6% harvest 2 or more antlerless deer. And only 0.5% of hunters harvest 4 or more antlerless deer in Michigan. In 2003, we saw our highest antlerless harvest of the 2000s with 240,401 antlerless deer harvested in the state. Today, we harvest about 166,000 antlerless deer statewide, or nearly 31% less than 20 years ago. In the northern lower peninsula, where large antlerless quotas have existed for decades, the antlerless deer harvest during the deer season ranges from only 2.5 to 3.8 antlerless deer harvested per square mile in those counties. When it comes to uncontrollable factors like severe winters in the north, seasonal EHD in the south, and predators that have localized impacts, especially on fawns, our system of deer management also allows for changes to areas where research or harvest statistics indicate a significant decline might be occurring. Our goal is to ensure that deer and deer hunting, like other natural resources and outdoor activities in Michigan, can be enjoyed by future generations for many years to come. For more information on deer and deer hunting in Michigan, visit michigan.gov/deer.